Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Phrase webinar. Thank you for joining us today for the introduction to our all-new Phrase Strings editor. My name is Klara Kopecka. I'm an event specialist at Phrase, and with me here are my two colleagues. Firstly, Nevzat Urzoglu, our product marketing manager, who will tell you all about the story of how this new editor came to be. And secondly, we have our product manager, Mansoor Khan, who will give you a practical demonstration of the Strings web editor. And before we dive right into the topic, I have just two quick things to mention. Firstly, this webinar is being recorded, and we will share the recording with you tomorrow, so you will have the chance to rewatch if you need to. And secondly, we will have a Q&A session at the end of this webinar. So you can submit your questions via our Slido space, which you can access by going to slido.com and entering the event code that you see on the screen. Or there is a QR code which you can scan with your mobile phone. Or I will just quickly paste a direct link to the chat, which you can just click and meet us at Slido. There you go. And yeah, as I mentioned, the Q&A session will be at the end. So feel free to submit your questions throughout, and we will get back to you at the end of the webinar. So now, without further ado, let's get started, and over to Nevzat. Enjoy the webinar.
Yeah, thank you, Klara. Hello, everyone. Welcome again. I'm Nevzat, working as a product marketing manager here at Phrase. And today we are going to talk about the all-new Strings editor. I'm going to tell you the story of the new Strings editor briefly and explain why it's better. And then Mansoor will give us a demonstration. Let's begin with the story of the new editor. About a year ago, our team sat down for a product discovery session for what is now called the Classic editor. And after hours and hours of discussion, the results were clear. The team concluded that the editing and transition experience in the editor was not optimal. The editor needed customizability and dynamism, and there were actually a lot of room for improvement for the old editor. So what they did do was to design and develop a new editor. So the team started working on it. And in the process, they talked to the users, they analyzed their needs, they developed prototypes, they validated design ideas, they interviewed people, they gathered feedback, and of course, also they incorporated their own experience and expertise in product design and product development. And after months and months of hard work, as you all probably know, we finally unveiled the new Strings editor in September 2022. And it's been actually a great experience for us. The ever-increasing rate of adoption among our users for the new Strings editor. And we are also quite happy to see the appreciation and comments from our users about the new Strings editor. Some are quite happy and excited about the new batch actions that we introduced and improved. Others are happy about the way the new editor looks, the user interface, the design, and many are happy that their feedback was incorporated into the design of this new editor. And ever since September, we have actually kept working on the new Strings editor to keep improving it. And what we did was to introduce new capabilities and features into this new editor. And one of them, for example, is the multilingual view, which allows you to simultaneously view and instantly edit multiple languages at a time, which is a great feature for anyone who's working on multiple languages, anyone who is translating into multiple languages. This feature is going to come in quite handy for those. And another one is powerful batch actions. We know that batch actions are quite important or almost vital for anyone who spends a lot of time working on the transition editor. So we improved them and made them easier to carry out and made them available to be carried out for multiple languages at a time when needed. Another capability that we improved was the contextual side panel, which actually allows you to get the context of a transition or a string that you are working on at a glance about the project that transition belongs to or the job that it may come from. And another improvement in the contextual side panel was the trace action, which now allows you to preview and fix errors quickly. for handing over your transitions to your colleagues. And finally, another capability, another feature that we introduced to the new editor was the new card layouts view and dark mode, which will now enable you to customize and individualize the editor experience according to your preferences and needs, and enable you to work more efficiently in the way you want it. And finally, before passing it over to Mansur for demonstration, as a final point, I would like to highlight one fact, and that is the fact that the all-new Strings editor is better. It's better because it has a much more intuitive user interface, which is easy to adapt and master for anyone who starts using it. It's better because it boosts your transition productivity by allowing you to set up your own experience in the editor. And it's better because it now comes with powerful batch actions, which are, as mentioned earlier, are now quite easy to carry out and can be carried out for multiple languages. And with all that said, now it's time to see what we have been talking about in action. And Mansur will do a demonstration of the editor.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nevzat, for setting up the stage. Today, first of all, I'm Mansur. Thanks for joining in. Today, we'll walk you through the whole new editor, and hopefully when you walk out of this webinar, you have a clear understanding or a basic understanding in terms of what to expect with the new editor, what are our plans with the new editor going forward, and how to get basics probably brushed up for the new editor. Let me start off with sharing my screen. Hopefully you are able to, could you, Nevzat or Clara, confirm that you are able to see my screen?
Yeah, we do.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Okay, so this is the project overview page. So there are multiple ways of getting into the editor. We have worked on, even if you go on the projects view, on the project card, there's a button now which gives you essentially the option to directly go into the editor and editing mode. Currently, you have two options. This is because we still have the legacy editor and it's not the default editor right now. But going forward on the 28th of February, I want to take this chance also just to broadcast this message that on 28th of February, we're going to make sure that the new editor is the default editor for you and for everybody. So there will be only one option to get into the editor, and that would be the only button or the only option that you're available. You can, of course, still walk in and go to the previous editor by return to classic, but we expect and we hope that you would not require to do so. All right, so you are into the new editor. You see it's a drastic improvement in terms of what we were offering before. So on the right-hand side, giving the, just walking you through the layout, we have some action search over here, the language selectors that you're translating, your target languages that you want to translate into, some options for views. I'll go into more further details on it, and then three-dotted menu again. On the right-hand side, you can see is the contextual side panel. So over here, you'll get to see the job context, the project context, the context related to the keys, or even the layout preview for ICU messages. So we are utilizing this quite dynamically in terms of what are, how do we want to expedite this, and how do we want what information at this point of time would be essential for the user. And then on the left-hand side, we have the key list. Which is again very straightforward, just the key names, and then you can scroll around, click around, and see for yourself. Yeah, as soon as you select a key, you see there are further more information coming up on the right-hand side. This is the whole contextual side panel that fills in with suggestions, with references. The key name is there, the description itself, and the jobs. For example, if you want to attach a job, you would just be able to do it from here. Click on it, and this key would be added to the job. Before going into further details on the contextual side panel, let me walk you through also the views that we have and the customizability that we have put really into the heart of this editor, so first of all, you can also turn off or toggle on and off the key list. So if you want dedicated space for your keys and more information, it's distracting for you, or you're not want to look at the key list, you can completely toggle it off. Then we also provide you the opportunity to work in a single key view. So this is dedicatedly also very essential or very great to have, and utilizes the whole real estate available on your editor screen. Essentially providing you more space for content, providing you more focus on one key. If you're that kind of a user, then this would be essentially something that you would really like using it. And then also what we analyze is that some people are also used to top to bottom approach and also side by side. So we have both options available. So either you can choose vertical split, or either you can also refer to the horizontal split. I like personally the horizontal split, top to bottom. I'll keep it to that. But there is everything for you. And then we have the dark mode available, of course, with the toggle switch. If you're working in night or so, it really helps ease on your eyes, accessibility. From the accessibility perspective, you can also just toggle it on for the editor itself. And right now, since we are not, I wouldn't be requiring it, let's go further and look into the translation statuses that we have within the editor. Looking at opening up the filter, we have tried to simplify the translation statuses that are available in the editor. So we have two kind of workflows. So there's basic workflow, there's advanced review workflow. For the advanced review workflow, we have an additional step, and we try to make it more clear with our new translation statuses, which is, for example, first step is untranslated. The next step is ready for review, which was formerly known as also translated, but it was unclear in terms of the sequence or the call of action that still requires on it. So ready for review, half-baked, circle, yellow icon provides you that it's not to the optimal state, and still requires an additional step of verification. This would be then reviewed. Once reviewed, then it's the last stage. Of course, you can also mark anything which is unverified or verified. You can also do that. You can mark keys excluded and included, and further on. Apart from this, you can also see the translation statuses over here. What we have tried to play along with the very smartly done with the key card is that, for example, if something is ready for review, you would click on it. You can see it's ready for review over a year ago, and you can, as you hover over the key card, you would be able to see this hover button, which tells me to mark it reviewed. And there, if I mark it reviewed, the icon changes, I get a toast notification, and bam, that's like how you can mark something reviewed. And also, for example, that's similarly goes for something which is probably unverified. I don't have anything unverified, so maybe I can also show you how something can be marked unverified. Over here, we have translation actions. On the three-dotted menu, you can set the character limit. We also provide you suggestions so that the source count is already provided to you. If you want to make it 10% or 20% higher, that's also given to you. Right now, I just want to mark this unverified, and then the flag appears on my translation actions, and then I'm being able to save this. And now you would see, because it's ready for review as well, but first I need to verify this in order to make sure that this can be marked reviewed. So, but now you would see verified and being marked reviewed. That's something about simplification of the translation statuses within the editor, and also going back to the basic review workflow. So if you see that, we only have untranslated and translated. So that's the additional extra step of verification required in basic workflow is not needed here. And the green status tick mark is shown as like it's translated and it's reviewed. What else? Okay, let me look at my notes quickly. So talking about views, we have another view. So for example, here are the translation target languages that you can choose from English to German. What we have really improved on is source view. So for example, if you just want to look into the source view and iterate on it, make it better, make the copy better, that would be something what you can do. You can unselect any target languages. Now what you see is complete source view. Only English language is available. And of course, as you select a language, you would be able to see all the content, all the key details on the right-hand side. So it fills down as soon as you select. It's a major improvement as well in terms of what you were able to do in the previous editor. But yeah, let's go ahead and select another language and go forward and talk about the string editor in terms of the contextual side panel. Okay, so over here, you would be able to see the suggestions. For suggestions, we have combined the translation, machine translation plus the translation memory. So we have combined them together in order to simplify and also provide you results instantly, which are clear on 100% matches, on 50%, or any other percentages that you would see. For example, over here, you would be able to, let me select German, and I would be able to show you all the matches over here. So for example, over here, you would see 100% matches. And then for one similar result, if you click on it, you also see 40% match, but from the word go default, we hide it so that it's not visible for you. And then you can see the term base, something that you can see it's being ticked, that it's checked. If I let go of O, then it tells me, okay, it's not applied. I can click on to apply and then save so that my term base are also visible with green and green. And yeah, further, we have really improved on the references. So one of the things that we drastically improved and wanted to make a lot easier convenience for the users in order to add screenshots, provide screenshots, and there are multiple ways to do it. You can clearly, what you can do is also just take a screenshot. So for example, if I take a screenshot, and I would be able to drag and drop a screenshot just on the whole editor. So it's not just basically one section or a simple button where you'll have to add, rather than you can drag and drop, and then you get a notification it's being added, and then you would be able to click on it to go into the preview mode. You're able to see itself, the screenshot itself, and go into the editing mode, of course, as well. And there can be multiple screenshots, of course, can be attached. Another way of attaching a screenshot could be if you have copied an image, you just need to copy and Control V, and bam, it's being added to your screenshots. So that's something also very convenient in order to provide more user flow, easiness for the users, not going into the editing mode directly, but rather than being attached to it. And even if the key is not selected, we upload it to your screenshots, and then you can later on give mark keys on it. So that's something that would also be possible. And then, as I already referred on jobs, you can also add tags, metadata information is available on this key, and then the activity itself, you can mention comments, somebody on comments, or you can look for changes, what have been changes to the content itself that are already possible to see that. That's already pretty straightforward, so I won't go into more details how to leave mentions. I mean, it's pretty straightforward over here. What's something new is that if you press hashtag, now you can mention a language as well. So when you're talking about and having difficulty, when you are translating into 10 different languages and you want to make sure the localization manager understands what languages are you referring to, you can quickly press hashtag German and then press mention the person. Miko, can you please explain explain conditions here. So something like this, and this comment would go out to the user itself. And yeah, that's about it. You would see the comment over here. The German is being mentioned. That would provide clear attendance in terms of what can be achieved or what can be really essential for this comment. And then you can click on messenger, click on reply. Of course, it gets pre-filled with your name. So these are smaller, really intuitive improvements that we have tried to think of and being able to provide you with ease in your daily work life. All right, let's go ahead and let me introduce you to multilingual view. So we also have a true multilingual view in this editor. So if you're translating into X number of languages, it should not be a problem right now. So with over here, you have four languages. You can select all. You can see now English to 4 languages that you are translating into. I have a top to bottom view. For this, I'll revert to vertical split. So on the left-hand side, I see my source copy. And then on the right-hand side over here, I can see all the target languages that I'm translating into. So German, French, Spanish, Urdu, RTL support is there. And this is something that is really essentially making life a lot easier for everybody. You would also see combined translation statuses on the top. So for example, over here, you can see 5 translation are ready for review, 0 are reviewed or untranslated. Here you can quickly see I mark it reviewed and I can mark it reviewed. And then you would see, okay, on the total of this key, I have 5 languages I'm translating into. 1 is marked reviewed, 4 are ready for review. That provides me essentially a summary of the whole key, trying to bring more productivity over here. And yeah, so this is essentially the whole view. You can also see hover over the translation statuses over here, provides you essentially the summary of what you see over here. And essentially, it provides a lot of value to the users who are, especially localization managers, who want to just get a quick glance of what's done, what's remaining, how we are with the progress and going forward. The batch actions are really drastically improved in the editor. So with what's required 5 clicks over here to do, now you can do it with a single click. Is that, for example, if I select all, we have grouped all these updating translation statuses together with ready for review, reviewed. I can mark, this was also not possible before, anything to mark or take one step back. Ready for review is possible now to do it in a batch action. And of course, the legacy batch actions like unverified, verified, excluded, included, those are grouped together in the updated status. You can, of course, also delete them. And then you can also, somehow I can maybe move this. Okay, so some over here on the batch actions, what you can also do is clear target translation. This is something completely new. You can also pre-translate, add it to a job, and then also remove tags and add tags. What's the difference or standout feature for this batch action? Batch actions are that when you're performing a batch action, it's not being just performed on one language, rather than all of the selected languages. So for example, I'll show you a quick demonstration of it. And I would go to the branch and I would, for example, I would click on clear all target translations. And this would essentially clear all the target translations that I have. You can see this is something that's also something new. Now we have background job tracking. So every time you perform a batch action, we are able now to see the progress of it. So either is it in progress, it's in the line, it's in the queue, is it completed? So as soon as it's completed, I get this, either I can clear or refresh to get my results. And now you would see that complete DE is cleared out. If I have selected more languages, the all content would be cleared out too. So over here, let's see if I want to translate. And similarly, the background job tracking goes for pre-translation and also for anything like adding a job, adding a tag. So you're always on top of the batch actions and you get the status that either it's in progress, either it's in queue, or either it is completed. So, and this really enables you to, for example, clear all translation for all the selected languages, for 4 languages now I'm doing, and it's being able to do it with a single click. And being then able to pre-translate again provides you an opportunity to start and utilize your translation memory and machine translation, and essentially giving you a refresh or utilizing your translation memory to the results. Now you would see if I refresh, this has cleared out all the translations, target translation. We still have the copy from the English available over here. And yeah, that's essentially working now within a single click. I'm looking at the hour. I'll try to speed up for the few things. For example, let's go ahead with multilingual view to the job context. How the job context is being envisioned in the new editor. So for example, I like to revert back to one language, DE, and I would like to choose the job context, demo job. Over here, so we are utilizing the same contextual side panel in order to do a demo job. And what you see is the summary. For example, we have 70 keys, and then you are able to see 58 of them are reviewed, 12 of them are ready for review, and 0 are untranslated. You see the metadata information like source words, the days left for translation jobs, the number of keys, and so on, like target translations, who this job is assigned to, and then who are the reviewers. So you can see here, Franca and Marx are the reviewers for this job, when the job was started on, what's the due date of it. So this is primarily what you can see. Also, what you can edit right from within the job context is you can even add description. So for example, if I add something over here, I just need to add and click outside, and the job is updated. Not the smartest word to add over here, and I can also do the same for the job name. So I can also change the job name right from within the editor, which was unprecedented. It wasn't possible before. And also what you can also, taking one step further, is that you were able to complete the job before as well from within the editor, but now you can also mark the language complete and also mark it as translated. So for example, if I choose French, sorry, I'm choosing always the wrong language. So if I choose French, I can mark the job completed. That's an action on a job level, but I can also mark this French language as translated and reviewed. And it gives me a sense of completion in terms of that I can do this without leaving the editor and do it right within the editor itself. So that's the job context. What you go back, if you click on it, you go back, this is the project context. You just simply see the name and the jobs that the list of jobs that are available within the project. You can also go into the draft jobs, and which is something that would be really cool going forward, that we want to iterate and make it even better. Then we have the search itself. The search works primarily as it does for any other tool. So for example, if I want to search for more, I would be able to see all the keys with more. And if I click on this icon, this essentially takes me to the advanced search. So advanced search, we've tried to deliberately keep it as we have in the old editor, at least the more interface from the UI perspective. So you have search for content, you have search for key name, and you can also search keys with the key tag. So for example, I want to search keys with the tag 1. So these are the 3 keys that have been reverted back to me with the search itself. And yeah, I'll go back and let me see, and I can quickly show you ICU implementation as well. So we have also incorporated how the ICU works in the editor. So you can see the ICU sample message over here. We have an additional button on the translation actions. So if you click on it, you would get an overlay on the contextual side panel, utilizing again the real estate that is available, and being able to see the generated message. So for example, you can also play along. So for example, if just to check if it's correct or not, if you click on one should be one item, that's the generated message, that's correct. And you can do it for more complex messages as well. So for example, over here, you have 000, and this would essentially give us, I have no fruit. There would be the generated message. Eventually, yeah, proving it works. And one thing, and it works as complex as if we go over here. This is a really complex message, and it's still, you can play along with the card or with the bank account, even with the parameters. There are different parameters that you can choose as an option, and then you can see does your message or ICU message fits perfectly or not. Another thing that we have really worked hard on is to keep the formatting so that you as a user knows that this ICU message is not broken. Because if I click backwards and if I delete the parentheses, if I delete the bracket parentheses slash, it goes back to the black text, which is essentially not the case, because now it's broken ICU message. And if I add it again, it reverts back to the whole ICU formatting, where I can see this is the identifier, you should not change this value. So we're trying to make a lot more helpful for you in order to make sure that you can provide, or you can make sure the ICU messages do not get broken, and keep the formatting as it is now. And then lastly, one of the most important things that you do in the editor is adding keys, right? Adding keys is something that we've tried to also make your life a lot easier. So for example, new key 1, you can add the source copy for it. You can add tags for it. You can enable the pre-translation while creating it. You can set, for example, the translation. You can set the word limit, and again, we provide you the same suggestions like source count, and then 10% and 20% more. You can exclude it, and you can have further information toggled on as well. Like plural forms, while you were creating the key before, it was not possible to add plural forms. Now you can directly, while creating the key, you can add the source copy, source content to it. For example, 1, sorry, this is 0 form. This would be 1. This would be the other. And then another thing that we saw that if you're in the process of creating keys, and you want to do it one after the other, you have to again and again open the clicks, go to the button and click on add key. We have given you an option now to create more. So if you keep it open and create the key, you would essentially the add key modal open up again, and you are able to continuing in the process of adding the keys and the content itself. And then of course you can close it by clicking outside. But that's primarily the whole new editor for you. If you have any further questions, I'm happy to answer them. We can go through the Slido. But on this note, I'll pass the mic back to Clara.
Thank you very much, Mansoor, for the demonstration. Let's maybe keep it this way. Keep sharing your screen, please, because as I'm looking at the questions, it will be much easier to maybe show some of the answers directly in the editor.
Okay.
So I will read the questions out loud to you, and yeah, let's just go through them. So first one, is it possible to widen the key details area to adapt the width to my individual needs?
Yes, absolutely. So for example, we have also, as I said, customization is at the heart of this editor. And what you can also is play along with the key list side panels, not just this, but also the context. You can make it bigger and smaller, and being able to adjust to as your preference. People who are working on wider screens, on bigger screen, this is a feature. This is practically a thing that you can primarily be useful for you, and yeah, you are able to do it right now.
Okay, thank you. Next one, where is the glossary, please?
Glossary is the term base, so we have done some renaming beforehand, and for example, I had this term Trivago. And you're able to see that if you click on it, the term base, you can see it's case sensitive. It has to be applied to all languages. It's a company name. It's attached to Mansoor Glossary.
Okay. Thank you. Next question. Does the link to Figma upload an image, or do you need to link each key to a text in Figma?
So this is something that we are working on. Currently, I won't be able to demo it, but watch out for February 28th. This is something that we are working on, and you'll be able to preview your Figma files within the editor. That's all I can say.
Okay, exciting. Thank you. Is it now possible to attach a screenshot to several keys?
Yes, that's possible to do that.
Okay. What are the different use cases for ready for review, unverified, reviewed, and verified?
So practically everything that you see is already verified, unless it is marked unverified. So a translation which is ready for review is verified. And then we have, if you want an extra layer for example, an extra layer of verification needed, even after making it ready for review, then you can mark it unverified. Otherwise, it's a two-step process. You mark it ready for review, another person comes in and marks it reviewed. For unverification is an extra layer where you are unsure, where you want to where you want another pair of eyes looking at it, and then they would be able to go through and provide some feedback on it. But primarily, verification is something which is everything what you translate is verified unless marked unverified.
Okay, thank you very much. Next question, has any functionality been removed compared to the classic editor?
We have let go of, not that I can think of primarily, but I think so there is more and more what we have added into the new editor with the batch actions, with the multilingual view. For example, all languages view has been replaced with the true multilingual view. That was one of the feedbacks that we also initially heard from our users, that one of the things that the all languages view is limited and we want to look at while it is translating. But for localization managers, I think so the true multilingual view will be an exceptionally better view from the all languages. But no, we have only added features on top of what feature parity the old or the classic editor provided.
Okay, thank you. Speaking of localization managers, how are they benefiting from the new editor?
Yeah, there are multiple features that we have use cases where the localization managers can really benefit from it. First thing is, I think so the job context. So you're working in jobs. So we're trying to make and incorporate jobs as much as in the editor and not wanting you to leave the editor. So things that were not possible before, like editing adding description or making marking languages reviewed, getting an overall status of your job. Those are now at glance already possible, and we want to extend this. Then there's a multilingual view. If you want to get a quick check into the whole project, multilingual view is the best way to do that. Batch actions are now even more powerful when it comes to multilingual view functionality attached to it, because now you can perform a batch action not into just one language, rather than into 30, 50, 10 languages according to your need. And then also continuous workspace gives you a continuous idea of the status of your project.
Okay, thank you. Looking at the next questions. This one is a little bit longer. In the multilingual view, there was a red label below the German key translation with numbers in it. Is it displayed because of a set character limit, showing that the limit is exceeded?
Yes, absolutely. So for example, what we have also added is the QA section to it. So for example, let me quickly show you. If I add this, and the character limit over here is less than what is desired to be. So for example, 102, he updated, it turns red. And then of course I can save it, but when I open it, I can see that the character limit is exceeded. So we are trying to bring in the quality aspect to the editor as well, which would enable you to run through all of the checks, the quality assurance checks that are available on your program, on your plan. So those are character limit checks, placeholder checks, and also term-based check.
Okay, thank you. Just information, I will paste the link to our YouTube playlist with more videos on the strings editor, so you can have a look. But going on with the questions, maybe we can still cover one or two before we run out of time. Is it or will it soon be possible to filter by keys with comments? And can you search for keys that you have commented on?
Yes, it is one of the things that is in the pipeline that we want to improve or add further being able to filter by comments or context, especially description or screenshots. So we like to extend filters capability. It's something on the roadmap and would possibly be available to you in coming weeks.
Okay, thank you very much. And last one, perhaps, is there a way to go to the job overview page, the one with the big table and all numbers regarding the job progress from the new editor?
Yes, so that's something that we are working on right now. There would be an additional button. If you go to the job context, there would be additional options added over here. We still have time to 28th of February, but there will be a clear way you can get to the job overview as well directly from the editor.
Okay, thank you very much. So we are just out of time at this point, so we will stop answering the questions. There are a couple still left unanswered, so we will make sure to get back to you via email. So please be patient with us. We will answer your questions. Or if you have more questions that you would like to have addressed, you can always reach out to your customer success manager. So that's all. Thank you very much, Nevzat, for the presentation. Thank you, Mansoor, for the demo and for answering all the questions. And thank you to our audience for joining in. There will be a short survey popping up after we close this session, so you can let us know what you thought and maybe what you would like to see next. So we will be happy to hear feedback. Thank you very much and have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.